Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Austrian Central Bank. I think this is surely something new, that there will be a conference on Austrian economics held here at the Central Bank. And I'm thankful for the governor and to the president that they have made this possible as well. My colleague, the president, has to excuse himself. He's currently in Singapore on mission, and the governor, who we see a video very soon, is also on mission for the Austrian Central Bank in Basel, and then also in Frankfurt today, as well as the vice governor. My name is Barbara Kolm. I'm the director of the Austrian Economics Center and the president of the Hayek Institute. And together with my colleague Federico Fernandez and our team, we are pleased to welcome you here today in Vienna for the next couple of days and for these interesting discussions and debates. But before we will have the greeting by the governor, I would like to go through some housekeeping, which is definitely important. As you all know, Central Bank, we have a lot of gold down there in the vaults. So we have to keep that, be very safe, careful. Nobody is allowed to take anything away. After all, we believe in gold and in true values. So let's be careful about that. So we have to keep to those security issues. And just going through some housekeeping. The ladies in the yellow jackets over there are from the organizational team of the Austrian Central Bank. And once again, thank you very much for organizing. Thank you very much for helping and for the big support. And if you have any questions with regards to organizational things, please see the ladies and ask them. First of all. Second thing, the meeting point for the session room will be the wardrobe, which is the parallel session 3. There is a lock, of course, for security reasons. It will be opened every 20 minutes so that you can pass through, meet the ladies at the wardrobe, and you will get to the other room for the parallel session. And it's called the seminar room. It's the parallel session 3. Also, on the ground floor, there is the so-called audience room, the Veranstaltungssaal, which is used for parallel session 2. You can communicate. You can commute between this main room and the ground floor freely, no pass necessary, nothing, no security issues there. But I just wanted to make sure that you know. Free floating is available. The breaks are in the program, and of course, since we all believe in spontaneity, maybe things change throughout the next 2 days with regards to the program. More flexibility is needed, but also make sure that you interact and that you network, because after all, this is what the big conference is about, to network and to divide labor. This is what Austrian economics believes, or what we as Austrian economists believe in. And I will now, before I will give some official opening remarks in my position as the Vice President of the Central Bank, I would like to show you the short welcome remarks by our governor, Professor Holzmann, who is currently, as I mentioned, in Switzerland and will be in Frankfurt tomorrow on mission. Thank you.
Dear guests and participants of the conference on the Austrian School of Economics in the 21st century. Welcome to Austria, welcome to Vienna, welcome to the Austrian National Bank. It's a great coming home, like stated in the invitation to this conference, that the Austrian School of Economics finally gets some recognition in Austria itself. This event coincides with the latest developments in technology and the development of digital money as a way to organize money supply and demand. And the recent book by Thomas Mayer on Austrian economics, money and finance is a very welcoming addition to this discussion. Besides money, cash will always remain an important element of payment. And here we can quote Friedrich von Hayek, who once said, "The advice I would give is, if you have the courage to do so, do not feel patriotic in monetary manners. Choose the money which helps you best. Personally, this is also something not only to talk about money, but also about currency. In the academic circles, we often jokingly say, 2 economists have 5 opinions. This, however, ironically meant phrase has a true kernel in it, because it is precisely the diversity of opinions that makes the event like this one of high caliber so valuable. To quote again Friedrich von Hayek, the fact that the market is much more knowledgeable about facts than the individual or even about organizations is a crucial reason why market economy does no more than any other economy. And this knowledge of facts and the conclusion and the results will be at the forefront at this conference. Thank you very much for the Friedrich Hayek Institute of organizing this event and making it possible. I wish you an exciting and informative event. In Vienna, a lot of heated discussion and interesting time in this beautiful city. All the best from Zurich on the way to Frankfurt. Yours, Robert Holzmann. Thank you very much. Excellencies.
Well, our new governor of the Austrian Central Bank, and I think he has mentioned some very important issues already: money, currency, values. Again, this is now my official welcome, especially to our dear keynote speakers who have come from abroad. Well, the closest, Professor Wede, Germany, Veronique de Rugy from the US, and Bob Murphy as well from the US, and also Tom Woods and a couple of others who also made it from Latin America. It's great to have a wonderful crowd from both Americas here and also from Austria, lastly. For those who, when the room is crowded, there will be a live video streaming down to the Festsaal and the ground floor, so you will not miss anything, just to make sure. But without our partners and sponsors, that you can see here on the screen, this conference would not be possible. And I would like to thank each and everybody of them. And without their support, the free market would not work. After all, there is no government money involved. We make sure we raise the money at the markets, and we make sure that we stick to those rules that we believe in. So, without further ado, let me quickly touch upon some important issues that we will discuss in the next couple of days. Not only that Austrian economics is not mainstream, unfortunately, not anymore, but maybe with a crowd like this, we can make it mainstream again. And it's time that we put the reset button and put some questions or ask some questions who might be very inconvenient, especially when it comes to the monetary system of today, where we see that extraordinary monetary policy is at its limits, when we see that certain models have to be reconsidered. And as the governor has already mentioned, this is obviously currently being in discussion at the ECB, finally. So there is hope that alternative solutions, and there is always an alternative. We have to keep that in mind. There was only one chancellor once who mentioned that there was none. We believe in opportunities, and we believe in the free flow of ideas and creativity and innovation as true Austrians. So we will always find a solution to whatever problem we face, whether it's the green issue, or whether it is an energy issue, or whether it is a monetary issue. There will always be new solutions, and we just simply have to forget and overthrow the ideas of the past and reconsider and start up new. And as we all know, how Hayek created, or actually when he was awarded the Nobel Prize, mentioned that we have to be careful about the arrogance in certain people, that they think that only what they say and they claim is true. We should put that in question. And I think this conference is about asking those nasty questions and putting those things into question. But as we live in a post-political era. I mean, from Bismarck to bureaucrats to technocrats who govern us, I think we are in a shift of ideas. We live in an era where lifestyle politics is versus interest politics, and it was and it is still Wall Street versus Main Street, and especially if we are here in a place where we look how money is being thought of and whether cash is important or not and how we operate on those things, we probably have to keep that in mind, that capitalism as the basis of wealth, and actually which is nothing else but the protection of property rights, whether it's intellectual property rights or physical property rights, is important to maintain and to keep up. And I think if we do not do that in the future, we will be lost. So there is a couple of geopolitical challenges that we face, and many of you will cover that. It's from the trade wars, US-China, to modern colonialism, if we look at China especially, from the lack of innovation and growth to the issues of financial markets, which I already touched upon, whether it's the Fed or the ECB. And of course the conflict, which is truly important to understand, the conflict between monetary policy and fiscal policy. I just mentioned one word: one size fits all, and it doesn't fit all, and it doesn't work. So you have to truly be sure to make those differences. There are a couple of other interesting issues that and I hope that Federico, who is running the show here, by the way, will make sure that it will be touched upon. It's China, Hong Kong, and the dependence of European industries upon China. It's the underdeveloped capital market in Germany, in Central Europe, also in Austria. It's the issue of the banks that we need to cover. And of course, if we look at the size relations between back then the German bank, which was, and JP Morgan, which was earlier 100 to 40, and today the German bank is just 1/5 that small as it was like 8 years, 10 years ago. So this is an issue that we will have to discuss. But also on the positive side, if we look at Europe and what will be the future of Europe from a libertarian and a pro-market and Austrian perspective, will it just be a reformed European Union, or will it be the Europe of competing regions? Will it be the Europe that finally coordinates and cooperates? After all, Airbus, for example, is the last common European project, and nothing else has been on the ground so far, just to set you thinking. And I'm not talking about the sluggish growth numbers that we see these days in Europe, and I'm not talking about the issues of spending and the expenditures on social on social issues and on pension issues that we see these days. But there is also good news. If we look what has happened in Greece over the past couple of months with the new government in place, when they put in a flat tax, when they cut the red tape, when they deregulated, and when all of a sudden it's very interesting again to invest in Greece again and to move there, then probably we see something very positive. I'm not talking about the global trade wars and about Brexit, because these will be covered in many of the papers. And I'm not talking about the issues of the German auto manufacturers and the homemade problems that we've seen in Europe. And I will not talk about the whatever it takes 2.0 that we are currently discussing in Frankfurt, because this is an issue that is very sensitive here in this place and in this house. But I would truly invite you all for an open debate, or to keep up an open debate, and to look at the solutions that Austrian economists have provided in the past 2 centuries. And I'm grateful and thankful for those many papers that we have received in the past, in the last couple of months, and where we see how Austrian economics is further advancing and how the new generation is picking up the good ideas and advancing those ideas further and bringing up new solutions. So without further ado, I wish you fruitful discussions. Have a great time here in Vienna, also at the Austrian Central Bank. Thank you again to all our team and to Federico for pulling all this together and enjoy the debates, and truly academic debates, because there is no such thing as, you know, I own the idea. We want an academic dispute. We have forgotten about the culture of disputes. And I think it's time that we go back to this value and to this important way of communicating. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Federico, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are on time. That makes me quite happy. Yeah, and since, you know, I am an organizer overall, I'll just repeat a few things that Barbara mentioned, just to be clear, and there we can start with no problems. All the keynote speeches and the Free Market Roadshow event will take place here. This is the Kassensaal. Commission 3 is when you exit the room to our, and this is Commission 1 as well. Commission 3 is to our left when we exit the room. There will be someone to open the door, don't worry, you know, and careful with the gold, of course. Yeah, what Barbara mentions reminds me when Perón arrived to the government in Argentina. I am from Argentina. He said that there was too much gold in the central bank. You could even walk in the hallways. Well, he took care of that. Don't follow the example of Perón here, because we'll have lots of problems, please. And Commission 2 is downstairs. In case this room is is completely full for a keynote speech, everything that happens here for the keynotes will be live streamed downstairs, so you can also go there and you don't have to stand. There are a couple, by the way, there are a couple of seats free here for the people who are standing in the back. If you want to sit, there are seats here. And well, now and please, also my colleague Scott reminded me, please make sure that tomorrow you bring this name tag with you, because if not, maybe there will be some trouble with security, and we don't want that either. So as you see, I'll be quite brief. Barbara said all the important things. First, thanks to Barbara, to the people at the National Bank here in Austria, and to everyone involved with the organization of this conference, which I mean, I'm sure I'm going to make some errors and mistakes, but I ask for apologies in advance, but I want to mention them because they have done a heroic job, you know, so this can be assembled. Of course, Barbara, Brit Shia, who many of you know or have been in contact via email. Victoria, of course, that you will see her, Victoria Schmidt, she'll be taking pictures here, among other things. Kate, she's one of our interns, she's great. Scott, who is doing research with us, he's great. Kai, who was the leader of the walk yesterday, for the ones of you who took it, he's great, thank you very much. Juan, who came from Germany, and he's from Bolivia, he came to give us a hand. Thank you. Martin as well, Martin Gundinger, one of our researchers. Thank you all. Without all of them, and I want to mention also a former intern, Carolina from Poland, who really helped us with the promotion, and probably some of you found out about this conference thanks to her, so they receive a round of applause because they are the ones who made this happen. So very, very quickly, as you can see, you know, this is the 8th international conference that we organize. And why is that? I mean, this is the first that we do in Vienna, and we do it thanks to Barbara. But the previous 7 have happened in Argentina. I'll tell a little bit more about Argentina when I introduce and the Austrian economics, you know, scene, let's say, there, when I briefly introduce Bob for his keynote. But we started this series of conference always every 2 years in 2006. We did the first in 2006 and 2008 and so on. It was always the idea, we always thought that it would be great. We knew that Barbara was here, that it would be great to do it in, you know, we always thought a little bit of Rosario, our city in Argentina, as a second Vienna or a new Vienna. Well, this is the real Vienna, the actual Vienna, and it was going to be lovely to have it in the actual Vienna. So we are very happy to be here, that finally, you know, moving from the second Vienna to the real Vienna. And this is really fantastic. And this is why this is the 8th conference. And next year it will be in Argentina again. And in 2021, hopefully, in Vienna again, and for an even bigger conference. And another thing that I wanted to say, and with this I will be basically wrapping up, is that now when I'm standing here and when we were following the process of, of applications and things like that, it was very easy to see that this conference was going to be a great success. And why is that? It's not because of us, the organizers. I have been organizing conferences for a very long time, and I'll tell you my view about it. What we, the organizers, do is basically prepare a platform, but the heart of, we like, prepare the body, but the heart of the body and the life of the conference is given by you. You are the real protagonists. The conference is good because we have great papers. The conference is good because we have great keynote speakers. And the conference is going to be a great success because we have lots of people and lots of young people. So my deepest thanks to you, because you are the ones who have made this conference a great success. Thank you very much. And one last thing, as we said in the promotion of the conference, we are bringing. I mean, this is not only the only one thing that we do, but this is. I hope it's going to be a major thing to change things here in Austria. We are bringing Austrian economics back to Austria, but also there are people from all over the world, as Barbara mentioned. We have people from Latin America, from Asia, from North America, from really everywhere, from the whole of Europe, of course, which makes us very happy. Use this conference as a platform for you as well. Try to create synergies, not only with us, and of course with us. We'll all be here the 2 days. Let's talk what we can do together, how we can continue our cooperation in the future. We are very active in Latin America with Fundación Bases. We are extremely active in Europe, in the US with the Austrian Economic Center. We do the Free Market Roadshow. So there are many things that we can do, many projects and things that probably we haven't thought about yet, and maybe we can do together, and also try to create synergies, among yourselves. That's one of the greatest things about the conference. That always after this kind of event, we know that there are new publications that are being born, new projects, people who met, became friends, and they are doing things together. And use the time here. We try to have as long coffee breaks as we could, as long lunches as we could. So this time could be used to network and to do more things for this, Austrian and libertarian movement. If we do that, we not only will be bringing Austrian economics back to Austria, but we'll be creating a freer world. Thank you very much.